Hey there, Rebus here. This isn't quite a 2 a.m. long play, but it'd basically just as well be. Trying to do recordings and such during the day hasn't quite worked out. Anywho, Aeronautica Imperialis isn't a Dead Kennedys song, even if it sounds slightly like it might be. It is, in fact, a Games Workshop game, a 2-player air combat-based game. Games Workshop saw X-Wing was successful and thought, let's have a go at that. And I quite like it, in tabletop form anyway. So much so that I own it twice. Aeronautica Imperialis Flight Command is kind of a digital version of that. I'd like to say, thanks to the devs for giving me a key, but they rejected me. So yeah, let's have a little launch. See what this is all about. It says it's running. 2,427 frames per second. Yay, some sounds. It should be noted, the game does seem to have a pretty active little Discord community with a few tournaments and such. I'm going to be mostly focusing on the single player because that's the major draw for me with a digital version of a board game. So it's set on the besieged planet of Rin's world. Not that you'd really know. Let's continue my campaign and we'll see what it's all about. I have an intercept mission to perform. I'm midway through a campaign. I've had a few people shot down. They didn't enjoy that. I've shot down plenty of orcs, which is ironic because they're kind of just oiks. So, deployments. I'm going to set up in a bit of a line with 2 at the rear as a bit of an anvil. We'll dart past the baddies and hopefully cause enough damage. Slightly worried that what I'll actually effectively do is just enable the orcs to do focused fire all the easier. Destroy at least 4 bombers. I'm seeing mostly bombers. There's a couple of fighters. So, basically, all you need to do in this game is drag where you want your units to go to. You can change their speed and elevation here. And there's a few more dynamic maneuvers that you can do too. So I'm going to swing right and try and, or rather left, and try and nail these people here as opposed to these 2 here. Basically, I'm just going to try and concentrate forces on one flank and try and remove the advantage that the orcs have in numbers. But I might be able to take out these 2 nice and easily if I focus on them somewhat with the trailing 2 of my wing. And then you get a sort of nice summary of the turn in the old 3D. So, as you can see, the orcs are all around me now. I'm going to do a sneaky inverse maneuver. And hopefully won't make myself or my pilots look like a bunch of tits. The trick is to be unpredictable, but I haven't played enough to determine what unpredictable is. I can probably secure a certain degree of unpredictability by being bad, because they won't be expecting that. See, he's going to get hit by the people on his right flank. All of my weapons are front firing, which is something I should be mindful of. You know what that'll do? Bit more cautious, but I just lost a dude. Well, not a total shocker. We've killed a bunch of them. I'm going to bring him round to shoot that one's rear. Just going to zoom him out of fire. And he's going to do another inverse maneuver. And tuck in behind some of the baddies. And if units can shoot, they do, obviously. Nobody got taken down that turn. So he should get a good shot on his side. Hoping he'll get some shooting on him. And obviously him on him. At least one orc went down there. How many are left? Hopefully he'll carry on his turn right, so I'll be able to pick him up. Nope, he'll have to do another one of these twisty, turny maneuvers. And probably still not end up anywhere useful. And he can do a twisty, turny maneuver as well. That's the technical term I think they use in the Air Force. I doubt we were kill anyone this turn. So, if we bring you up to here... hopefully he can get a strafing shot on that guy. Hopefully he'll be able to finish him. And who's left to move? You. You need to do a very short, twisty-turny maneuver. And commit. Everything's very twisty and turny, but ultimately quite feckless and inefficient. So that's got to result in at least one strafing shot on that orc there. If we can do one of these and come in behind him, that would be super. I'm going to get him to do a twisty-turny maneuver and be prepared to try and get behind that other orc aircraft. I think he is behind him. These two are a bit out of step. Oh no, massively in front. Okay, this time, twisty-turny maneuver underneath, and job's a good one. I think his options for movement might be limited by the maneuvers he's pulled previously. But and him too, apparently. Okay, we'll just let them do their thing. Some good shots of the sun there. And nobody did anything. Well done me. Immediately turn around. And over to you. The moving things is quite finicky, but tolerable. Sometimes folks just seem to need to move a lot further than I would like them to. So I'm guessing because of his high speed, there are limitations to what he can do. At least this should bring all of my guys into a similar position. And we can hopefully provide more of a firing line. Yes, we should get some shots on our Orky friend this time. Could you stop doing some crazy long distance flight? I guess not. That's got to sort things. There we go. And this fits into a broader campaign where you complete missions that have campaign points. More campaign points, the more the campaign favors you. That was the third mission in my campaign. And it looks like we're like 4 points away from victory. All in all, for the price I paid for it, I'd say I'm happy with the game. The problem is I got the game for 50% off, which puts it just a few quid away from Battlefleet Gothic 2's when not on sale, whereas this game's campaign is a mere series of points. With Battlefleet Gothic you get a full-fledged sort of ongoing epic with tons of voice acting, whereas this game seems to have pretty much none. A whole bunch of customization, also seemingly absent from this game, and just immersion at every point. And perhaps more importantly, a somewhat less rage-inducing camera. I'm a big fan of Games Workshop licenses, and in general, my attitude is, the more the merrier. My wish list to get this game on par with the other games you could otherwise be playing for a similar price range would be a more engaging campaign. The picking missions from a selection of 2, with an ability to reselect at the cost of campaign points, feels very bare bones. And if possible, get some cutscenes and some more voice acting. Despite these criticisms, the core gameplay feels like it has merit, even if I do spend as much time battling the camera on SAM maps as I do actually fighting the orcs. It is worth noting that they do seem to be actively supporting the game, so hopefully lots of micro improvements will come along. It is a shame that this game lacks bells and whistles. The core gameplay works pretty well as an adaptation of tabletop, and with a digital adaptation of any tabletop license, that's probably the most important thing. But these days there's quite a lot of competition for your 40k digital dollar. This game feels a bit more like the sort of licensed game you'd get a few years back, and I worry without improvements that without a bit more polish, the game might fade into obscurity, with so many quality Games Workshop licensed games out there at the moment. So if you've just got to play every single 40k game, there will be no stopping you. If you don't mind a heavy focus on gameplay and not much else, then go for it. Otherwise, it's probably more of a wait for a sale sort of jobby. Either way, thanks for watching, and toodle pip.